All y'all and the other better not flop tonight, man.
That right there was NBA Youngboy going at Future on IG Live. And as soon as Future dropped his new album, YB went even harder, calling the whole thing a flop and swearing Future was just trying to count him out. So what really started all this? Let's break it down. The night it started, so it all popped off July 9, 2026. NBA Youngboy, government name Kentrell Gaulden, got on the gram with a mix of stories and live and started going off. It turned into one of the loudest moments in rap that week. The timing was the whole play. Future had an album called The Real Me dropping the next day, July 10. YB ain't wait for the album to even land. He got on camera and sent a message to everybody dropping music that night. Here go the line that lit the fuse.
All y'all and the other better not flop tonight, man.
That one line was doing two things at once. It was smoke for everybody dropping that night, plus a warning shot at one specific dude. The streets read that dude as Future, cause Future was the big name with an album coming the next day. And he ain't say it soft neither. Boy swore on another rapper's name to let you know he meant that.
Man, I just should go down and play with me, man.
Then he said he was done even responding to folks, period.
Oh my daughter, I ain't gonna respond to none of them no more.
After that, he slammed the door on ever doing a song with the dude he was aiming at. He threw shots at a certain rapper and said stuff like, "F you, I don't like you no more. Don't ever call me. I don't want to do no song with you. Leave me alone." He called old boy old too and said certain rappers had counted him out before. Now peep why everybody pointed at Future. Future had been pushing The Real Me hard all week. Dropped the track list, dropped the cover. This was Future coming back with a whole solo album after years of mixtapes and features. So when YB said better not flop tonight, the math ain't take long. That return is what made the timing so heavy. When an OG steps back in the solo spotlight and a young boy tell him don't flop on that same night, the story write itself. The clips did the rest. They ran across TikTok, Reels, and X in like an hour. Folks was making split-screen edits and slapping Future's face right next to YB's words. Some people said YB was just protecting his lane and dodging industry politics. Others said he was starting drama that could mess up his own run. Folks was also digging for a reason behind it. Some said it was old subliminals between the two. Some said it was that Atlanta versus Louisiana tension. Nobody had a real answer, so the guessing just kept the clips running. By the time most folks woke up, it wasn't even about what he said no more. It was about who he said it to. The whole app turned into a detective show, everybody trying to ID the target, and Future's name kept coming up first. And Pete, this ain't been no planned diss with a beat and a hook. It was a crash out, straight up, emotional mad cussing, and you could tell he was hot. It read like a dude carrying industry paranoia and old grudges who finally let it spill on a random night. Aiming at a big name instead of nobody is what flipped it from regular venting into a whole storyline. This how YB been moving forever. He used the gram to talk straight to his fans, the 4KT gang, no filter, no middleman. But this time he pointed at a name everybody knew, so it hit different. Wasn't no street stuff, wasn't no threats. Stayed all words and shade, but it was live and the whole internet was watching. And that's the real power of the app right there. One live session can take over every timeline in a couple hours, way faster than any diss track could ever move. No studio, no rollout, no label, just a phone and a bad mood. That's a gift and a trap at the same time. Cause whatever YB feel in that moment, the whole world feel it with him a minute later. By the end of the night, one question was bouncing around every timeline. Who was YB really talking to? And was this the start of real smoke with Future? The answer pulled up the very next day, and it wasn't what nobody expected. The apology with Offset. Next morning, July 10, YB did something that caught everybody slipping. Instead of doubling down like he usually do, he pulled up on Live with Offset and hit the brakes on the whole thing. The setup told you everything. Split screen. Offset filming from outside, riding around in shades and chains. Cool as a fan. YB sitting inside in a red fitted, way calmer than the night before. This wasn't no diss. This was a public sit down, and it kicked off with something sweet.
First, we gotta say, tell the world, we gotta say happy birthday, Culture. It's the 10th, man.
That was for Culture, Offset, and Cardi B's daughter, who was having her birthday. Set a warm family vibe right off the top and made the rest of the talk feel real instead of forced. Word is Lil Culture actually rock with YB's music too, so that shout out wasn't just for show. Them lil personal details is what humanized the whole thing. One minute he spazzing on the internet, next minute he wishing a kid happy birthday. That's the two sides of YB in one clip. From there, YB started opening up. He gave Offset his props for pulling him back and getting in his ear before the beef got worse.
Cause I really don't like how you just got on my edge here.
He said it like a joke, but you could hear the truth in it. Offset had talked him down. Then YB did the thing. Don't nobody expect from him. He owned it. He admitted the rant came from a soft spot, not from strength.
I gotta stop that getting emotional. Cause I really let some shit hurt me.
That was the core of it. He was saying he let outside noise get to him, and that pushed him into the crash out. Rare moment of a dude checking his own temper on camera, live, in front of tens of thousands. Then came the apology itself, clean and direct.
You right though, and I thank you for that. I apologize to you, and I apologize to them too.
Apologize to them too. That little line covered a lot of ground. He was walking back the shots from the night before and stretching the sorry out to other folks he had gone at, closing out more than one piece of drama at once. He wrapped it in gratitude and faith and let the anger drain right there on live.
You right.
It's how it is. We living. God is good.
I flashed out. I'm tripping. I flashed out.
That was YB admitting he lost it and promising to leave that energy behind. Offset played big bro the whole time, smiling, nodding, steering the convo to calmer water. What made it hit was who was standing next to him. Offset wasn't just holding the camera. He was the OG who done been through the wars and lived to tell it. Kept the energy light, kept pulling YB back to the calm, and you could feel that mentorship. For a dude with a history of letting beef simmer for weeks and months, taking that advice on the spot was a real flex of self-control. And that's rare, cause YB the type to let a little comment turn into a whole season of shots. Him hearing Offset out and taking it there live was a whole different YB than the one from the night before. And that was that. The apology live got ran everywhere, with fans clapping for the growth. The live pulled tens of thousands watching at once, and the reaction leaned toward respect. Folks called it growth, called it maturity, pointed at how fast he owned it. Even people he had gone at before took it well, which shut the side drama down for good. Think about how crazy that is. A dude known for beef that drag on for months through diss after diss put this one to bed in like 24 hours. No new shots. The heat died down and everybody looked back at the music. Never leaked into no bigger industry war or no legal mess. Started on the app, ended on the app. Future's The Real Me rolled out without a bump, and YB went right back to feeding his fans content like nothing happened. Youngboy and Future was never really ops. To get why this cooled off so fast, you gotta know what YB and Future really is to each other. And real talk, they was never real ops. They two different animals from two different eras of the game. Future, the seasoned Atlanta vet. The dude dropping smooth, moody, atmospheric hits since the early 2010s. Hitmaker with a catalog deep enough to fill a stadium. YB, the young powerhouse out of Baton Rouge. All raw feeling, non-stop drops, and street realness his fans treat like scripture. One built his empire slow and steady. The other built his like a flood. Over the years, they crossed paths here and there. A lil joint or featured work floating around, but ain't no big joint album ever came out of it. And for the most part, when they spoke on each other in public, it stayed positive or neutral. YB showed love for parts of Future's run in older interviews. Future kept his hands off the young rappers, and they stayed business-minded and quiet. Where the friction really lived was with the fans. The internet loved pitting these two against each other in versus-type debates, and them debates get heated. Peep how fast a room can split when this exact matchup come up.
When we talk about Future and Youngboy, these niggas is both countrywide artists at this point. Like, they've been running shit since at least 2016, 2017 for Youngboy and Future.
Yeah. So the respect there on both sides. Ain't nobody calling either dude small, but the second you try to crown one, it turned into a war of opinions, and it usually come down to who bigger with which crowd.
Now, if you gonna do a Future and Youngboy versus, to make it fair, as long as the crowd is under 30, Future that nigga up.
That's one side riding for Future's deep hit list and his pull with the older, wider crowd. They even bring up the biggest stages to make the point.
Youngboy, he younger. Future got song. That man really can sell it. That man really can have a whole crowd of white folks singing along to his song.
That's the crossover card. The idea that Future can move a whole stadium of casuals who might not even know a YB record, but flip the location and flip the age of the room, and the whole picture change. YB people swear that on home turf, it ain't even close.
If they had a versus in Louisiana, NBA Youngboy would win. It ain't because he the better artist.
That's the tension in a nutshell. Future got the hits, the longevity, and the crossover that get whole crowds singing along. YB got the streaming numbers, the young fan base, and that raw connection that turned a hometown show into a whole revival. Fans been arguing this for years, sometimes throwing old clips and old subliminals in the mix to prove they point. You know how it go. Everybody got a favorite and everybody think they favorite untouchable. That's the fuel that keep this debate alive way past the point it even makes sense. And the debate always split the same way. Future can't point to the deep hit list, the features, the years of running it, that whole hit for hit resume. YB can't point to the streaming numbers, the plaques, and how he owned the young crowd. Both sides got a real case, which is why can't nobody ever really win it. It's apples and oranges, a business empire versus a streaming machine, and neither one going back down. There was even older moments where YB reacted to news about Future's catalog moves with a lil edge in his voice. Lil stuff like that gave fans the receipts they wanted, and so piece by piece the internet built a rivalry that barely existed between the two dudes theyself. So when the July 2026 rant hit, fans already had a whole storyline loaded up. Future was pushing the real me, his big solo comeback. YB dropped a warning about somebody who better not flop tonight. The pieces snapped together on their own. Add YB calling the dude old and talking about getting counted out, and the crowd was sold. And that's the real split. Future moved like a business, steady for over a decade. YB moved like a storm, chaotic and glued to his fans. Two different maps to the same mountain, and a joint song looked possible before. But this night basically closed that door for now. Future ain't even fire back. He let the real me talk, that cool hands-off OG move. This is just what Youngboy do. Here go the thing that put the Future moment in real context. This is just what YB do. His history of public beef is long, loud, and tangled up with his personal life and his Baton Rouge roots. His beef rarely about clever bars. It's about loyalty, hurt feelings, and real-world tension that spill on the timeline before it get a chance to cool. The biggest and longest one run straight into the Chicago drill scene, especially Lil Durk and the circle round the late King Von. Started with Lil's social media jabs, then it got dark after Von passed in 2020. YB dropped records with direct O-Block references, and Durk shot back. That kicked off a long run of diss records, including YB's I Hate Youngboy aimed at Durk and his people. Plus Durk's answer, aha, got personal quick, dragging in relationships and street cred on both sides. Years later, Durk sat down and tried to explain where the bad blood really came from, and it was never about music.
So you made a diss and said something about Von. That's why I don't with you.
That's the loyalty-driven type line that defined these beefs. It ain't a rap battle, it's a bond thing. And Durk laid out exactly how far that loyalty reached for him.
You with anybody that harm my people, I can't fuck with you. I'm not into it with you.
For Durk, it was never really a rap thing at the core. It was loyalty, it was a bond, and that's a whole different kind of smoke than a battle over bars. You also see the timing pattern over and over. Shots tend to fly right when album's about to drop. Durk and YB Dunn went back and forth on the same release. Fridays, each side trying to bury the other on the charts. The Future night fit that same mold, landing the night before a big album. That same energy fuel damn near every YB conflict. He traded shots with NLE Choppa, sliding from cool into full diss records like Choppa's KO, often with shared X's and side taken stirred in. He aimed at Boozy Badazz and Gucci Mane. He even swung at the whole industry and dudes as big as Drake on tracks like FTK The Industry. Some of it spilled past the music too, touching real-world tension tied to his 4KT crew, with names like Ben 10 coming up. What tie it all together is the live in the story. He give fans a live wire straight to his emotions, which is exciting, but it mean the anger go public before anybody can talk him down. And these beefs don't just stay between two rappers neither. They turn into loyalty tests for the whole game. Durk basically said it plain. If you run with somebody who did his people wrong, he can't rock with you, even if it's just music. That same energy is why one crash out can freeze a dozen collabs and make everybody feel like they gotta pick a side over stuff that ain't even their business. And here go the part that matter most for the Future situation. Most of these beefs don't end in some final forever war. They cool off, time pass, new music drop, or somebody step in to mediate, and the temperature fall. The game even watched YB flip the script and sell a whole reformed changed man image on a press run.
NBA Youngboy's out.
NBA Youngboy. After NBA Youngboy said, I will not start beef with anyone. I am a changed man. I am reformed.
Look at the range.
Now, the analyst on that show was laughing at how fast the changed man talk turned back into a Twitter rant. And that's fair, but it showed the pattern perfect. YB swing between crash outs and calm, between the beef and the sorry, over and over. The Future moment fit that like a glove. Emotional outbursts driven by industry frustration, not real hatred. Then a quick sorry once the smoke cleared. Same cycle, just a bigger name on the other end, and Offset playing peacemaker instead of somebody else. These beefs pull in crazy streams and crazy attention, which is part of why they never really stop. But they also build a rep for being volatile, and that rep done cost him stuff like touring and partnerships over the years. The Future night was one more page in that same book, loud going in and quiet coming out. The weight he carries. To really get these crash outs, you gotta look at the weight this dude carried. YB's legal history is one of the most loaded in modern rap, running since he was a teenager. In 2016, he caught attempted murder counts in Baton Rouge from a shooting, later cut down to aggravated assault with a firearm and probation. In 2018 came assault, kidnapping, and weapons charges tied to an ex-girlfriend. Then the heavy one in 2020, a federal case with drug and stolen firearm charges that put him on years of house arrest in Utah. The most recent chapter got even stranger. In 2024, he caught a Utah prescription drug drug fraud ring case, accused of running a scheme to get controlled substances. The pile of charges was crazy, and the dudes who cover this stuff broke down just how deep the hole was.
Yeah. But he still got to fight that case in Utah. I remember he had I think something like 63 charges.
63 charges is a mountain. But like they said, not all of it was ever gon' stick, and the best defense in the game went to work chipping it down.
Throw it at the wall. Most of it falls off, but some of it's still there.
He pleaded guilty to a mix of felonies and misdemeanors and took fines instead of long new prison time on that one. Federal gun charges brought a 23-month bid, and by 2025, a presidential pardon had reshaped his status. Through all of it from round 2021 to 2024 on house arrest. He ain't never stopped dropping music that topped the charts. That pressure got a cost you can hear in his voice. YB done openly talk about feeling lost on Live Before, about depression, about the paranoia that come with the industry watching your every move. When you get that, the Future rant read less like a random beef and more like a dude under real strain letting the pressure blow out sideways. It ain't just the courtrooms neither. Multiple kids, custody drama, exes getting named in records. All of that ride right alongside the music. His supporters call it real. Call it him just rapping his actual life. His critics call it a bad example for the young fans looking up to him. Either way, the pain and the product be coming from the same place, and that's the part that make him so hard to look away from. But here go what keep him standing. Boy, unstoppable on the numbers. Even his own lawyer was shook by it.
He doesn't get any radio play. He doesn't get any playlists on Spotify, and yet he's had more platinum albums.
No radio, no big playlists, and still he outrun damn near everybody. Fan base that rabid. His own lawyers say the wildest part ain't even happened yet, cause he barely tour.
That's gonna break all the records, cause he never tours. So when he goes on tour, it's gonna be just bananas.
Sit with that, a dude who spent big stretches on house arrest, who the game keep trying to bury, got a fan base so hungry his first real tour could rewrite the record books. Even the rooms that debate his art admit he moved numbers other rappers only dream about. That resilience is exactly why the Future drama ain't dent him. It made buzz, spiked the streams, and reinforced that real persona his fans love, all without derailing a thing. IB kept the industry in a chokehold while Future kept his focus on the real me. And that's the bigger picture the whole thing sit inside. Social media hand YB a direct line to millions, which is a gift and a curse at once. It let him connect like nobody else, and it let one bad night go global before he can catch himself. The July drama trended sparked debates about generations, mental health and maturity in rap, then faded in a couple days. So that's the whole story. NBA Youngboy crashed out on Future on IG Live July 9 over an album he swore better not flop, then turned right around the next day and said his bad with Offset right there with him. It was loud, it was messy, and it was over in a day, which might be the most mature thing YB ever did on camera. So what y'all think? Real growth from YB or just another crash out he had to clean up? Drop your take in the comments and let me know who you got. Youngboy or Future? Thanks for watching.